In this activity, you're going to become an inventor. You'll come up with inventions that use a brand new material. Then you'll make a poster that explains how your invention will make life better or easier. Let's say that you and your class have been asked for help by her, Marcia. She's a scientist who works at Marvelous Materials Laboratory. Now this example is imaginary, but let's say that Marcia has created a new kind of glass that's really different from the glass we use today. It's different even from electrochromic glass. Now, you know that glass has these properties. You can see through it, and it's hard and stiff. And if you drop it or you hit it, it breaks, shattering into lots of sharp pieces. But Marcia figured out a way to change glass so that it isn't hard and it doesn't break. Instead, this new kind of glass is stretchy and bouncy, like rubber. She invented rubbery glass. It still has the property of being see-through, but it also stretches out and then snaps back like a rubber band. And if you drop something made of rubbery glass, it bounces like a rubber ball. So Marcia has made this brand new material, rubbery glass, but she can't think of a cool way to use it. You and your class are going to help her. What could you invent using rubbery glass? What problems can this new material solve? To come up with ideas, let's start by thinking of all the different ways that we use regular glass today. What things are made out of regular glass? Make as long a list as you can. Your teacher will write them down on the board. We'll pause while you do that. Press play on this video when you're ready to keep going. How many things could you think of? Well, here's what Marcia could think of. She thought of jars that you can store things in. She thought of windows. She thought of eyeglasses, light bulbs, phones and computer screens, and car windshields. Are there any things on your list that Marcia left out? We'll pause while you check and read those out loud too. Now that you have your list, you're ready to think about rubbery glass. Imagine if all of these things weren't made out of normal glass. Imagine if instead they were bouncy or stretchy or both. Could being bouncy and stretchy make any of these things better than they are now? Thinking up new ideas takes practice, so let's consider the bottle first. Imagine a bottle that bounces. What ideas does that give you? Does that solve any problems? What could you use a bouncy jar for? We'll pause while your class discusses your ideas. Your teacher will write them down on the board. Now imagine a bottle that could stretch into all sorts of different shapes, like these. What could you use a stretchy jar for? We'll pause again while your class discusses your ideas and your teacher writes them down on the board. Now your class is going to go through the rest on your own. What ideas do you have about the other objects on your list? Imagine all of these things being bouncy and stretchy. Does it give you any ideas? We'll pause now so you can come up with ideas and your teacher can write them on the board. I'm guessing you have lots of ideas by now. Marcia is thrilled you guys came up with so many things. Maybe you thought about how a rubbery glass water bottle would stretch like a water balloon to hold lots and lots of water. At Mystery Science, we know that birds sometimes fly into windows. With normal glass, they'd hurt themselves because the glass is hard. But with rubbery glass, the bird would bounce off without getting hurt. We also thought it would be great to have a smartphone with a rubbery glass screen. That way, if we dropped the phone, it would bounce instead of breaking. Or if we wanted a bigger screen, we could stretch it and make it bigger. Now it's time to decide on the idea you like best. It can be any idea that Marcia or your class came up with. You will turn the idea into an invention and create a poster about it. Your teacher will hand out invention sheets that you'll use to make your poster. We'll pause while your teacher hands those out.
Well, I won't be handing them out to you if you're not in class, but I will post it on Nearpod so you can draw a picture what it's going to look like, and what your invention is going to be called.
Now that you have your sheet, you need to come up with a name for your invention. Our favorite idea was the stretchy window that saved birds, and we're calling it the Bird Bouncer. You also need to write a reason that people want your invention. People want the Bird Bouncer because it saves the birds. At the bottom, you'll draw a picture of your invention, and then you'll decide how much it costs and write the price right here. Good luck inventing!